Oh, this is my first time going live. I am actually going to add in somebody. Let me get. Hello, Jesse.
Hello.
Hello, it worked.
We're here. This is my first time going live with someone.
Me too. I mean, going live in general. I've never gone live on Instagram or anything, I don't think.
Oh, really? Well, here
Yeah,
we are.
first for everything. But we wanted to come on here and just chat with you guys about how you can heal your relationship with food while also dropping fat. Hi, Larissa.
Hi, Larissa. We're talking about you today.
Yeah, girl. We're gonna be just kind of going over some things with you guys and just giving you guys some information to take along with you. Um, do you want me to go ahead and jump in with the questions?
Yeah, so we're just going to talk about, I'm going to talk about one of my amazing clients, Larissa, and then Shelby's going to talk about one of her incredible clients, Bailey. So yeah, let's just dive into it. And if you guys have any questions, just drop it in the chat.
Yes, that'll be perfect. So, question one is going to be, what was Larissa's biggest struggle before working with you?
I would say Larissa was doing a lot of plans that were just kind of setting her up for failure. It was restrictive meal plans, focused more on just like drastic weight loss and being the skinniest version of herself versus like actually focus on health or losing fat and maintaining a healthy relationship with food. And this just really set her up to fear food. She would end up being scared to eat, restricting herself, and then binge eat. And she even got to the point where she would binge eat, and then to try and make up for it, she would even take laxatives. And it just got to such extreme measures. And I truly believe it's like we are taught these extreme measures. There's so many diets out there that are so restrictive that you don't know what you're doing is actually hurting you. And that is what I believe kind of happened to Larissa.
Yeah, definitely. What has helped her break free of all of that?
Just like I was kind of talking about, like generic plans, restricted meal plans, those things were all setting her up to fail. So when she joined the Slay Squad and started working with me, we really focused on a custom plan built for her, right? This wasn't just generic. We were actually figuring out what her body needed. And so we did that. We went into like a little fat loss phase. She saw the scale go down. She felt amazing. And then after that, we were like, okay, let's get food up. Let's build some muscle. If you've seen Larissa's transformation, it's incredible. She's
Mhm.
built some quads, built some glutes, and just looks amazing. So we brought food up. She's eating over 2,000 calories, and we've been sitting here for months, and she's just been able to really like not fear food anymore. She's able to enjoy herself. She has freedom. She can go on trips, and she doesn't binge eat anymore because she knows she can have the food she needs. And so I think that was the biggest thing that helped her is actually having a plan that was built for her. And so yeah, it's been amazing to see her do that and just enjoy food and life.
Yes. Yes, and we all deserve that. We shouldn't have to be focused on food so much where it's captivating our life and that's all we think about. When am I going to eat next? What do I have to eat next? Like, all of that can really play such a terrible role in our relationship with food. Is there anything that she is focusing on right now?
Yeah, she is actually, so we're really excited. We are going into a fat loss phase tomorrow. Yay, Larissa. So she has spent time eating more food. She has put on muscle, and now we are actually going to reduce her calories. She's, like I said, eating over 2,000 calories. So we're going to be able to reduce her calories, and she's still going to be able to eat an amazing amount of food and see fat loss. And she's going to see all that muscle she just spent time building, and I can't wait to see what she does.
Yeah.
So that is our plan. Larissa, get ready. Tomorrow's it.
She said she's excited. I love it. I love when they're excited to go into the cuts. That mindset around your cut, your food, just that phase is super important because if you have a really negative mindset going into a cut, it's gonna affect and bleed into everything.
I agree. I think her spending time eating, well, I know her spending time eating more food and being like, okay, like food isn't actually that scary. Like, yes, we're kind of taught to fear it when we're growing up and there's these fad diets all around us, but it's actually not that scary. And you can eat way more food and maintain your weight and put on muscle and repump your body than you think. I know so many women that are like, I need to eat 1,200 calories to just like stay where I am. And it's just not true. And we're just kind of taught that. So when you have a really good relationship with food and then you go into a fat loss phase, you're way more likely to feel good and be able to stick to it better and just know like, hey, this is temporary. I'm going to eat again soon.
Yes. Yes. It can just it changes your life and literally breaks free of all the guilt that you feel with food and everything.
Yeah, it really does. But yeah, let's dive into Bailey.
Yep.
Her journey's been incredible.
Yes,
I'm
she has
excited.
had a crazy transformation.
She has. It's absolutely amazing. But tell me a little bit about what she struggled with when she first came to you.
So when Bailey first came to me, she just was a couple months postpartum actually. She just had her third baby and she was really struggling. She was just following Beachbody workouts and their meal plans and just hiding in all of her photos, avoiding date nights with her husband, and she was so exhausted and overwhelmed that she just could not just follow the meal plan that was given to her, and it just made things much more complicated. And she really struggled with that all or nothing mindset where if it has to be perfect and if one thing falls off everything else falls off, and then that would lead to her just going out to eat for all three meals, or she would be on for a couple weeks and then just completely just binge on all of these foods because she was restricting herself so bad.
That is so hard, especially
Mhm.
when you have so much going on, like being postpartum and all of that. Like you have so much you're focused on, thinking like I have to be perfect. It's just so unrealistic, right? And I think that's what comes into effect with you. Like you are her one-on-one coach that can be like, hey, no, like let's take a step back and just focus on these couple things right now. You can still see incredible progress, and it doesn't have to be that all or
Mhm.
nothing mindset. And when you see like, oh yeah, like I can do these few things and I can see incredible results, then you can kind of break free of that. I've definitely been there with the all or
Mhm.
nothing mindset.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I struggled with it a lot being a college athlete and having to do it by the T, and I would, with school and everything just to make sure all of that would get done. And it's like, okay, well, if I just had this cookie, I'm not going to work out today. I'm not going to move. It's just a downward spiral instead of it being like, okay, well, I can actually have that cookie. I can still hit my steps. I can work out and incorporate it. It's those small little things that, play a huge role in that big end result that a lot of people are looking for.
Yeah, definitely. Instead of being like, oh no, I had one cookie, I'm done, everything's ruined, start spiraling. No, it's like
Yeah.
have a cookie and add in some fruits and vegetables, have some protein, and everything's gonna be okay.
Right? Yeah. Yeah, it was crazy because I did get her off of the meal plan, quit restricting herself, from all of that because it was just taking such a big toll on her. She's a mama three, she's a teacher, she's working. It's a lot. You don't
Yeah,
need to add more stress,
no.
right?
And I think like I see a lot of issues with meal plans personally, just because it's like you're being told like you have to eat these same things every day, and then if you don't eat them, then you feel like a failure, right? And it's just so hard to follow a meal plan, in my opinion. I'd rather
Mhm.
the foods I want. You can almost healthify any meal, right? So
Oh
you
yeah.
can almost like take any meal you want and make it fit to help you reach your goals. Make it a healthier version. Add more fruits and vegetables. So it's like
Mhm.
meal plans just make that hard. But tell me a little bit about what helped Bailey break free of this.
So it was really figuring out what she needed for her body because she was just like Beachbody, you're thrown into just this pile
Oh
of
yeah.
you have to fit in with everybody, what you're doing, your food, your workouts, everything. And that's just not how nutrition is. Yeah, workouts, it can be very similar but you really need to make sure that you're focusing on how much you need to be eating And that really helped her understand, like, oh, wow, I could actually have this amount of food and see my results. And with tracking macros, that was like the biggest thing that had helped her was, okay, I have this amount of calories and macros to hit. I know exactly what I need to eat every single day, even if that is including an ice cream bar or a cookie.
Yeah.
She can fit that into her macros, which is incredible because it takes away that guilt of, well, I had the cookie, I'm not going to be able to reach my goals. But I just taught to her and reframed a lot of that mindset of, no, the good versus bad foods, like, the nutrient dense versus less nutrient dense. We really went over and tried to break free from all of the negative of food that diet culture, puts on us, but also like the social media and magazines and all of that kind of plays a big role, especially in our childhood,
Yeah.
growing up. I remember always looking at magazines, always getting those magazines and seeing those latest trends and what the stars are doing just to lose all of that weight. But also one other thing that really helped her was knowing like why the scale is going to fluctuate when it fluctuates. So like a lot of my clients check in on Sunday and they go out to dinner on Saturday night. So this is where sometimes understanding like having a lot of sodium is going to play a role in holding on to water retention. And then she checks in and is like, oh no, why am I up when I've been on track? And then I'm like, okay, let's give it a few days.
Yeah.
Let's stay consistent, stay on your routine, and you're going to see a big drop in the scale. And it did every single time. So that really, really helped understanding like, why is it fluctuating? What is going on with my body?
That's huge. And as like her coach, I'm sure you can look at a couple days before or the day before and be like, hey, like I see exactly what happened.
Mm-hmm.
This is why the scale went up. And that's just so helpful because then you're like, oh, okay, I understand. Like the scale becomes less scary when you understand it. And kind of to touch on like including the food you love, a lot of women come to me and I have their phone calls with them and they're like, yeah, like once I have one cookie, I think, well, I already failed, right? Like I already had one cookie. I already screwed up for the day. Let me have 10 more. So you have that mindset of like, okay, let me just eat as many as possible and I'll start again on Monday or start again tomorrow, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in reality, when you start being like, oh no, like I can fit a cookie into my plan and still like see results,
Mm-hmm.
then what happens is you end up eating less of those foods because it's like, oh, I can have them in moderation. You're not obsessing over them anymore. So you can break free of it.
Yeah, that's the big thing too, is like I can't have it. So yeah, you're gonna obsess about it even more and more. And that's where it's just, I'm gonna want it more and more. And that's where like those two cookies or one cookie ends up being 10 instead
Yeah.
of, you're restricting yourself for a month from having cookies, for example. And if you were just to give yourself one cookie, you're more than likely going to stay on track opposed to restricting yourself for that month. And then at the end of the month, you're like, I want a cookie, and you eat the whole bag.
Exactly.
So, having that moderation is really key. And, I know you do this, we do this within the study squad, is teaching that 80-20 rule of
Mm-hmm.
80%. Like, let's really have some whole foods, nutrient dense foods. And then 20% of the time, go on a date night, have a cookie, go out to eat with your husband or, significant other, whatever it may be. It's going to be really important for your relationship with food, but also your relationship with everybody, your friends, your family, your coworkers, all of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, you have to have that balance. You don't want to be avoiding things because you're fearing food. You got to break
Mm-hmm.
free of that. But it starts with balance and really learning about your own individual needs and not hopping on all these trends.
Yes.
But tell me a little bit about what Bailey's focusing on now.
So right now, so kind of from when she started, we did go into a cut for 4 months. I had her about 300 calories in a deficit from her maintenance, and she lost about 30 pounds just by focusing on all of that, moving her body. And so I did bring her out of her cut for like mostly throughout the holidays so she can enjoy more food. We can go more into like building muscle and having all of that energy to push harder inside the gym. And then now we're actually back into a cut. So once January hit, we started to go into a cut, and she actually herniated her disc in her back. So Things have kind of changed with the game plan, but what I do as a coach is, I make sure that she is still on the right track, even though her workouts don't look the same. She's able to walk without pain. She's able to still hit her macros, and she's still losing weight. And that is the amazing thing. She broke through so much guilt. She can go on date nights with her husband and not feel guilty. She can go on trips. Like, she just went to the Great Wolf Lodge and had like a whole weekend and celebrated and was able to enjoy things with her kids, which is so important because these memories are so vital, especially as our kids are so young. But like, we're gonna remember a lot of this and they might not, so it's really important to make sure that you heal these things for yourself and for, your future memories with everybody that you're gonna be with.
Yeah, no, that's so sad for her that
I
happened, but it's
know.
incredible how much she accomplished. But also her having the mindset of like breaking free of all or nothing and not letting that hold her back. She could have easily been like, I can't work out right now, like I'm giving up, I'm not doing this, like just easily been like all or nothing right then. But instead she was like, no, like what can I focus on, what can I,
Yes.
and then she's still seeing progress,
Hmm.
which is amazing. So once you break through of that, you're going to see so like such better results than when you're like, oh no, one thing's off, I'm done for the day.
Yeah, and especially with an injury, a lot of people think that, oh, I'm injured, I sprained my ankle and everything's out the window, I can't do anything. In reality, you can do a lot. You can do a lot of upper body workouts. You might not be able to walk and hit your steps, but this is where you can modify your caloric intake to be able to then adjust to what your goals are and what your current activity level is. And that's the amazing thing because someone can be completely sedentary and we can still help them lose
Yep.
fat. And someone could be hitting 10K steps every single day just because of their job, and we can still help them reach their goals. And that's the amazing thing, is everything is so customizable for you as a person, and you're not going to get that just being thrown into a pot.
No, we're all so different. And if you take anything away from this live with us, just please know, like, hopping on these generic plans, like doing these generic things that are not built for you, they're just putting you in a worse position. They're not made for you. And once you really learn about your own body, that's when you're going to see incredible results. That's when you're really going to be achieving everything that you want. And it's going to feel so much better and so much easier because it's made for you.
Yes.
But
Yeah, definitely.
yeah, so if you were interested in any of this and want to learn more, Shelby and I are actually hosting a completely free masterclass all about this tomorrow at 5 p.m. Mountain Time. If you want to attend it, just send us a message. You can just drop like masterclass in it and we will send you the link. It's going to be really amazing. And I believe Larissa's even going to be on there to speak about her journey. So
Yes.
come join us.
Yes, it'll be fun. It'll be super exciting. I love doing these things because we can just give so much education to you guys for free and help you without even, having to sign up for coaching. It's things that you can take along your journey now and start implementing, once you're off the call. So, and if you can't make it to the call because you're at work, we totally understand. You can still sign up because we will be sending out a recording to everybody that did sign up for the masterclass, so they have the information on hand to revisit and stuff.
Yeah, definitely try and make it. Come ask us questions while we're live and doing it. But if you can't, then grab the recording and learn about what we're talking about and how to break free of these toxic diet trends. But
yes, we want to say bye-bye to them in 2025, ladies.
yes.
Well, thank you so much for coming on here and just chatting about our two awesome clients. I loved it. And if anybody ever has questions, remember, we're free to chat. Like, we are open arms, judgment free. We can always answer anything that you guys are looking for.
Yes, 100%. We love working with you one-on-one, but we also just want to help. So reach out if you need anything. And Shelby, I will see you tomorrow at 5 p.m. Mountain Time.
Yes. Have a good
Bye.
Sunday, everybody. Bye.